In the self-justice system, lack of awareness-based offenses are considered especially heinous. In Chicago City, the dedicated dudes that investigate these vicious, unmindful felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Accountability Unit. These are their stories.
And welcome back to Rastazrealities. I appreciate you liking on this video for me and subscribing and sharing the content. And don't forget to comment because you, the watcher and the listener, are important. This would be part 2 of The Why the 1,000-Yard Stare. A incomplete saga of harassment and unfairness when it comes to people. Let's go. The last video brought to light an occurrence that I've experienced. This video gets as greasy as a fast food kitchen's floor. I am aware of the difference between guys and gals. One is powerful in one area where the other has the upper hand. So, for example, one can birth another human and the other only adds to the conception. I'm sure that you, the listener and watcher, know the difference. There is an area in life that privilege has no place. That area is right and wrong and should be punished equally. So as mentioned in the previous video, even though a female violated sexual harassment policies not once, but twice. How, you ask? Well, in the onboarding process, all guards are to complete successfully PowerPoints that clearly state zero tolerance regarding sexual harassment. It also mentioned it is not what one may mean when speaking, but how it is perceived that matters the most. So when the female subordinate propositioned me with a date and sex, that was literally strike number 2 because of the initial training. It pisses me off to no end to hear the director of security, this new director, by the way, constantly state that he doesn't want to make a female sexual harasser workplace hostile. He doesn't want to make a hostile working environment for her, when she has made her own workplace hostile with her lackluster behavior. Totally disregarding my totally disregarding my claim, should I say. I was going to say chain of command, but I'll say totally disrespecting my claim. The director did. That was admitted to by the female harasser. I mean, how does that work? I was under the impression that when a criminal confesses, it's a done deal. Especially when a witness heard the nonsense as well. It all reeks of cover-up and dismissing the facts for whatever reasons. To make the shit stank worse, the director of security doesn't want to make a decision and pass the hot potato to his boss with his recommendations. Then he tells me that his boss wants to fire me, the reporter of the sexual harassment, and the offender of the company policy, that I'm sure if it was the other way around, I would have been done in my management position, and she probably would have gotten paid via a lawsuit and still have her job. This is the part of the video where I usually would say make it make sense, but I already know that it doesn't. As the saying goes, no justice, just us and by us. I mean the melanated man. The thing that I find to be most egregious is how there's zero tolerance regarding sexual harassment, and yet the offender policy breaker has been granted tolerance. A tolerance that would not have been afforded to me granted the situation were in reverse. This means that there's a gender bias, and it's in effect. A bias that is more detrimental to congruence. A bias that I would have never thought would have occurred to me in particular. Mainly because of the way that I lead in my leadership roles. You see, I was born for leadership. My mom did not understand that I was born for leadership. She did not understand that her firstborn was born a leader. And leaders cannot just go along to get along. And when leaders see and find and sense, certain vibrations, he must say something and do something about it. Not so much to level the playing field, but just to attain and maintain a certain level of peace and harmony that's congruent to a profitable life. It strikes me as amazing how society only wants men to be men on certain times or certain days for certain situations, and others vice versa. As I close, I have to say that even though the female sexual offender and policy rule breaker even though she has violated something, I still have just a tad, just a little bit of empathy for her. And here's the reason why. Not for what she has done and her subsequent actions afterwards, as if I was wrong for reporting it. Me, as a male supervisor, a man supervisor, you know what I mean? But to hear her over the communications, seeking and wanting assistance, and I have to fight with everything within me as a leader in a leadership role that I've had for over 30, 40 years now, to leave her dangling dry and out for the wolves. Oh, did I forget to mention that the same security director mentioned to me that some female that probably works in the mall accused me of leering at her butt? Do she and this director not understand that 98% of our jobs is to look at people up, down, left, right, front, back? Very convenient after I've made my sexual harassment claim against a subordinate in my company. It's bad. It's really bad, but it's all good. And that's the reality.